All right, so hello everyone. Welcome to the Nova demo number 37, and let's see what we have today. Today we're going to discuss just the release that's been available starting from today with tons of the improvements. We're going to demo them and discuss them. And also we're going to preview our big update for the staking. This will be the part of several huge updates that we've been doing this summer. And I think this will be the final one. So expect the next one that will be dedicated for the release and the demo for the whole staking upgrade that we're about to release. All right, so let's start. While we're waiting for somebody else, feel free to scan the QR code if you're watching it on the YouTube, but also feel free to go to the YouTube and check all the links to join the Nova community. And let's proceed. The version 6.7.3, the improvements. So there've been bits and bobs around the whole the apps around in Nova, but generally we improved multiple things. First, we addressed the how fees calculated for the EVM type of the transaction. So we can think about the substrate EVM networks such as Moonbeam, Moonriver, and Astar in the dApps if you're doing such transactions. But also this affects the purely EVM chains like Ethereum, for example, that is supported in the Nova wallet. We also added in the same direction the warning that informs about volatile situation with the transaction fees in the network. So again, this mostly related to the EVM networks, which usually have the volatility in terms of like a gas price, right? The gas fees, sorry. So that another improvement for the EVM folks. The next one is to add or edit the existing ERC20 tokens. So previously you could add any ERC20 tokens for the EVM networks, Moonbeam, Moonriver, Ethereum, all of this, right? But now you can also edit the token that you have previously added to the Nova wallet by the address. The next one is related towards preventing user mistakenly sending the tokens on the system accounts. So now Nova wallet knows the addresses of certain system accounts, mostly related to the cross-chain transfers. So if by any situation user tries to send the tokens to the system account, which is not controlled by any user, therefore it is hard to basically send tokens back to the user because this is not the usual use case. Users do not need to send the tokens to the system account, so that should be kind of prevented by the app. So we have added the dialogue for them, so they will understand how much more clear when they are facing this situation, so that they can cancel the flow and rethink what they're doing, basically. And there are minor staking fixes across the app. So this is basically the list of the improvements. This update is available starting from today, Friday, 18th of August. So feel free to update it into the app and enjoy these updates. Let's first move towards like the staking updates, and then I will demo basically all the features. The super simple staking. So once again, the super simple staking is a part of our general huge staking upgrade, which we are focused during this summer. Previously, I would like to remind you, was the multi-staking dashboard. And now we're going to not only make it super simple for the user to stake in the Nova wallet. It's of course simple right now, but now it will be even more simpler, right? But also it has tons of the new features. For example, it has a 2-in-1 flows for the Polkadot, Kusama, and Aleph Zero, right? And this is important because whenever users want to stake on the Polkadot or let's say on the Aleph Zero, they usually have this choice, basically. They need to understand what is the pool staking or what is the nomination to stake as a nominator staking. And each of them have its own advantages and disadvantages, but the issue is that user always need to think, they need to make a research, they need to understand what is preferable option for them. So now our 2-in-1 flow will basically eliminate this need from them at all. They can just enter the amount to stake, and that would be it. The Nova will determine the best staking for their for them, basically, right? But at the same time, while we do the simple happy days scenario flow for the users, we are not throwing away all our customization options in the app. So if you're an advanced user and you want to, let's say, stake with certain set of the validators, that is still available. Or let's say you would like to stake in a certain pool, right? Again, this is available. This is advanced flow, and you can still do it pretty much really easy through the Nova. And in addition to this, we also researched how we should improve like description of the staking or helpful sum up of the staking, right? Because users oftenly ask about like what is going to happen whenever they stake the tokens for the Nova, right? What is the minimal amount? What is basically the reward schedule? What will happen if you unstake the tokens? All these questions now will be provided in the nice helpful sum up before you start staking. So as soon as you, let's say, decide to stake DOT, you press start staking, you will see all this information available you in a nice way, nice short way. If you want to have a more detailed information, we have it on the screen available. I will show you later. And basically you can just proceed with the staking. So super simple staking. Let's take a look on this now. Give me a second on sharing the screen. All right, stop sharing here and then share the screen for the iOS device. All right, you should be able to see my screen. Let me know if you don't. And yeah, let's see what we have here. So previously I mentioned that we have the multi-staking dashboard update that was released previously, right? So I can quickly showcase you basically on any of the wallet here. You can see that you basically have all staking options listed on the one single screen for you to start the staking. And at the same time, if you have any staking options, any active staking, sorry, that will be displayed also on the main screen. So this is kind of like a dashboard. It shows you all your rewards for each token, your stake, and basically the percentage for the APY. But now what we have delivered is basically the two-in-one flow. So let's take a look on this one. So for example, I think it would be meaningful to show on something like Aleph Zero. So let me change to probably this account. Yeah, this one has some Aleph Zero. So whenever we tap on any staking option, now we have this new helpful sum up. Basically, we emphasize on the APY percentage, right? So we clearly state what's going on here, because take into account, lots of the users don't understand what staking is, right? Even on this screen, like stake and earn rewards, some percentage per year. Okay, so there might be still questions. So once they go on this screen, those questions should be eliminated because it clearly states what's going on here, right? So you can earn certain percentage on your tokens per year. Now, next, it depends on each token. So if I see the screen for the Aleph Zero, it will be one set of the tips, so-called, right? So you can see that you can stake anytime as little as 10 as 0. So 10 as 0 is my minimal staking amount, right? And you can see that in 1 day and 4 hours, once I start staking, my staking should be active and I should start earning rewards. It has also information about unstaking the tokens. So I can stake anytime, basically, and after 14 days, I can redeem my tokens, right? And it also clarifies that there are no rewards basically during the unstaking period, which is the case for all of the tokens when you stake it on chain, right? It clarifies that you receive the reward every day, right? But it also clarifies that if you stake more than 2,000 Aleph Zero tokens, the rewards will be paid automatically. Otherwise, you will need to claim manually. And lastly, it reminds you that basically the rewards varies over the time because this is a blockchain. Multiple values contribute to this. How many people staking in the network, the tokenomics might change in the future. Everything can affect the staking APY. So monitor your staking in the Node wallet to make sure that you're receiving your rewards consistently the minimum amount of staking has not changed in the network, therefore your staking is still active. So all of this is basically to remind you that since you're staking on chain, you should from time to time check that everything is all right. And also in the bottom, you can proceed with the Node wiki if you want to have more information to see how the staking is done in the Node world, what are staking conditions in more details, or if you just want to see like what would be after you start the staking, but you kind of like don't want to start it. In reality, you just want to see the like how it will look like for you before you made this decision. And of course, the terms of use is more like on the legal side of things, but the same information. All right, and just once again, we did it for each of the tokens. So basically, if I tap on the turnover, I see this similar information for the cups, right? And this basically depends on each token. So if I press the Polkadot, I, for example, will have new information if it will be loaded regarding this the governance, because the governance is also something what is available on the Polkadot. Right, so I will be able to see this here as well. So you can see that if I stake more than 450 DOT, I can participate in the governance with the same tokens, right? And of course, all the variables such as unstaking period also adjusted to the Polkadot network, right? So this is super useful because this address all the questions that users might have before they start staking certain token. All right, so let's see what else we have here. Let's try to start staking the Aleph 0, because you can see on the bottom that I have some available balance. So let's proceed here. And remember that I mentioned that it is super simple staking flow now, and I didn't lie. So you can see that just the only one information basically that user needs to enter is the amount. So I literally can say 100 Aleph 0 tokens, press continue, press confirm, that's it. I don't need to select any validator. I don't need to select any nomination pool. I don't even need to understand that those things exist, right? So I can just enter amount. I can just press confirm. That's it. But at the same time, what's going on here? Let's see. I have entered 100 A0 tokens, right? And this basically, if you remember from the previous screen, this is the amount of the tokens, and now we're going to explain it in advanced terms. This is amount of the tokens that I can stake within the nomination pool, because you can see that the minimal amount is 10 A0 tokens, but the threshold is actually 2,000 Aleph 0 tokens to stake as a nominator, right? So whenever I enter something between these two values, this means that my stake will be allocated to the nomination pools. If I enter something that is higher than 2,000 Aleph 0 tokens, that means that my staking will be allocated as a nominator, which is far more superior UX comparing to the staking in the nomination pool. But nomination pool is the best way to stake the low amount of the tokens, right? So this is exactly what is happening whenever I enter 100 Aleph 0 tokens. That means that I can stake only in the pool staking, right? And the downside of the pool staking is that you need to claim the rewards manually. If I enter 1,000, that will be still the pool staking, but if I will add another 0, that will be at 10,000, which is higher than the 2,000, the threshold. And now the node will automatically change the staking type for me to the direct staking, right? And again, nothing needs to do from the user side, because we automatically pre-select the recommended pool and we automatically pre-select recommended validators. So you don't need to do anything. But at the same time, if you want to, you can press here and you can select the validators with whom you will start staking. And you even can change the staking type to the pool staking, right? Even if you stake something like 10,000 of the tokens, which allow you to stake in the direct staking. But again, here we try to also clarify. So if the new user goes on the screen, they still can kind of understand what's going on. So there are two staking types. The pool staking is a minimal staking with like more than 10 A0 tokens, and you need to claim the rewards manually. while the direct staking is something that has the 2000 Aleph Zero tokens, but rewards paid automatically. And you can also have access to advanced staking management, right? So I can just click here, done. And basically that will define my staking, right? On the previous screen, I can also select the validators, just like I can do it right now in a Node wallet. And now, since we're integrating the nomination pool, you would be able to also select the pool here, right? Not only the one that Node wallet assigns you as recommended, but also some custom one, right? So it's up to you. So I can do the setup or customization for the staking, like whatever I like. But the beauty of this is that basically everything is happening like a magic. So as a user, I can enter just the amount, and automatically the best staking will be configured for me as a user. And I can just press continue and confirm. So this is the super simple staking. And this mostly targets the Polkadot and Aleph Zero and Kusama, but Kusama has pretty low threshold between nomination pool and nominator. So I would say that this mostly targets the Polkadot and Aleph Zero, because they have a huge difference between the nomination pool amount and the nominator amount. For example, the DOT has 1 DOT. And for staking as an nominator, you need to have something like 450 DOT, which is like multiple times more, right? So now with this solution, anyone can stake in a Node wallet the DOT tokens as little as 1 DOT. Previously, you had to go to the browser tab, to go to the Polkadot staking dashboard app. And while it's super powerful app, still the UX is not the best on the mobile device, right? You can still use it for some analytics, for some data that it provides, but now you can manage your nomination pool staking in much easier way. Now, the last thing that I would like to cover, in addition to the 2-in-1 flows, to the new helpful sum-ups, is the something like a corner cases. So if I go back here, you can see that basically I have 2 Polkadot stakings active, right? And in the case if you have such setup, I'm not sure why users would like to have it, but anyways, as a wallet developers, we need to handle all these corner cases, right? You can see that basically we have the distinguish between them two. We have the direct staking, right, which is a nomination, nominators, staking as nominator type. But also I can access the pool staking from here, so I can see this option as well. Moreover, if you want to end up in this situation, I can go here. I can see the Kusama. It's not specifying for me the direct or pool staking because it's not really the idea or not really something that user need to see on this screen. They can understand it when they will go into the details of the Kusama staking, right? But also, I would be able to choose Kusama staking into the pool if I would like to do it, right? If I want to have like part of my token staked as a nominator and part of my token staked into the pool, I can do it. So there are no limitations to this. The UX is basically shaped in the way that this is more like advanced option or more staking options, because you already staking the Kusama tokens. You probably just you can just add more to your existing stake and you will have some profitability towards this. But anyways, this is what you can do. There might be some useful use cases, so this is definitely a valid UI for this. So here's that. We have just seen what we have for the staking, and now for the other set of features, let me switch to the production version of the Node wallet, because this is something what we already have in the App Store, right? It's not something what I need to show you in the development version. And here, basically, let me see the list of the features quickly. Right. So we're going to talk about the EVM calculation. So this improvement affects such tokens like on the networks on the Moonbeam, Moonriver. So yeah, whenever I do the transfer of, let's say, the Glimmer token, the algorithm which calculates the automatically fee for me is now working much better. And moreover, if there will be some spikes in the fees on the Moonbeam or Ethereum, then the null wallet will warn you as a user, because if we see that this, like, the volatility is high, it's not really the good timing for you as a user to submit your transfer, because most likely it will fail, or it will not fail, but it will not be basically completed in the meaningful amount of time. Now, if you have added any token, and let's just do it straight away. For this, let me quickly find any ERC20 token that I can manually add to the null wallet. Just give me a second. I'm watching to the Moonbeam subscan. So yeah, I think I can grab this one. And I just need the token address. So I copied this. Now I go to the null wallet. And here you go to the manage tokens, add token. You then select the network. For me, it's a Moonbeam. And you just paste the address. It automatically determines the symbol and the decimals. So I'm completely fine with this. I can also specify the CoinGecko link if this token has a price on CoinGecko, and I can inject it right now, and this will work for the price provider for me. But now I added the token. It's added as though I'm not sure what this token is, but it doesn't matter. So let's see if we have it in the list. Right, so here is that. I potentially can now manage it. So I can receive this token, I can send this token, right? But let's say I don't want it to be named as though, but instead I want to change the name, or let's say I want to change the decimals. So where's the decimal point is located. So I'm doing exactly the same flow, right? And basically I want to name it now as though 5. Now I will have a pop-up that this basically token is already added, right? You want to modify it, and yes, I can modify it, and this will basically update how this token looks like for me. And I can update anything. I can update decimals, name, CoinGecko link. If it, for example, the token now has the pricing available from CoinGecko, I can just easily go back and add it to existing token. So here's this feature for the EVM networks. Now let's see this warning, which is the last one for the users who can face the situation transferring the tokens to the system account. And one of the most common situations would be if we go to the cross-chain transfers. So right now, whenever you do the cross-chain transfer in the null wallet, you will end up seeing these two operations that I have here. Limited reserve transfer, which is basically the XCM information, right? So you can see how much tokens went for the commission, but also in order to make the whole operation history accountable, which means that whenever you take the sum of all these Astar tokens, like transfer of 10.05, transfer of 100 Astar, and all of these tokens, you will end up with the same amount that you have on the top, right? So your total balance. So this is basically for you to make things accountable. But if you go here, you will see that the recipient is actually the system account, which was the part of the cross-chain transfer. So first, this transfer went from Astar network to the HydraDX. And basically what happened is that the tokens were transferred from users' Astar token, then to the Astar system account, and then from the Astar system account, it went to the HydraDX. It actually works a bit differently, but for simplicity, I will explain in this way. And then from the system account of the HydraDX, it went to the specified user account on the HydraDX, right? So it's actually like free transfers, let's say, right? And we don't want user to face a situation when they see this transfer and they think that they can just press the button send to this contact, which is actually after fills the system account. And if I will enter right now the transfer here, this will warn me. This will say that the tokens will be lost that recipient to the system account. And I can I can treat it as basically a shakeup for me, and I just press cancel and I do the cross-chain transfer now properly. So I go to the send and I specify the hydro.dx, and now I enter the address that I would like to send, for example, myself, right? And that would allow users to not do this mistake. All right, so that would be it. Let me stop the screen sharing. Let me see if we have anything in the chat. And it seems that we're good. Right. So that would be it from my side. Thank you, everyone who participated, and I will see you next time. Cheers.